In this tutorial, I'm going to go over the basics of Photoshop CC's Workspace. Over on the side here, this is our toolbar. If you hover over each tool, it'll give you a little bit of details of what it is. So this is the rectangular marquee tool. It gives you a brief video of what it does, and it also gives you the quick key command. So if you hit M on your keyboard, it would bring up the marquee tool. If you hold this down, you will notice that there is a flyout menu. So you have the rectangular marquee tool, the elliptical, single row, single column. Anyone that has that little triangle at the bottom means that it has a flyout menu. There's too many tools that they can't just put it all in a row, so they have to have flyout menus. And again, as I hover over, you can see that the quick key command for the magic wand tool would be a W. Once you have a tool selected, I want you to pay attention to the top here, this option bar. Whenever you have a tool selected, you'll see that the option bar changes. That's because each tool has their own set of options. So if you are going to, let's say, use the eyedropper tool, it's asking you if you want point samples or all layers. Let's say that you want to use the polygon lasso tool. You have one selection. Do you want to add to selection, subtract from selection, and so forth. So each toolbar item has their own option bar at the top. Moving on, you'll notice that I have two images opened up. How to open up an image is you go to File, Open, and you find that file. You have the option here of moving yours around, just like tabs on the internet. You can move them around. You can even undock them, which means that you're just having it set out like this. And if you want to put it back in, you would just drag it. When you see that blue line, you let go. You can also drag it out. And on the sidebar here, when you see the blue line, you let go, and then you can have your two images side by side. So this is really neat when you're trying to do some multiple editing. And if you don't want this and you just want to kind of reset it, you can go back up to the top, Window, Arrange, consolidate all to tabs, and that'll bring it back. The other way that you can bring it to the multiple views is if you went up to Window, Arrange, and you can have the two up horizontally, two up vertically, and there it is again. So that is just another way to do it. Let's bring it back. Now Photoshop has a lot of flexibility. Whenever you see those two double arrows like this, you can click and drag, and you make your bars larger or smaller. I can go over onto the side here and extend it, and I can make it smaller or larger. This helps if you don't have a lot of screen room and you want to move things around. The other thing is you can always undock your items. If you hit those little arrows at the top, it'll extend it further. If you hit these little 3-4 lines here, you can hit Close All Tab Group. Go over Close All Tab Group. You can even click and drag your tabs and rearrange them to the different bars. So now I have my character box down at the bottom instead of up at the top. So maybe I want to get rid of this whole bar because it is obstructing my view. So then now I have a larger main area and I have all my tabs here. And maybe I want to move my adjustments down at this bottom too. So I just have this one large tab and I can work with everything. And if I don't want to see my channels, I hit the lines over here, Close Tab Group, and I have that. So let's say that you mess up, and this happens all the time, and you've lost everything. Let's say I'm just collapsed that and I've lost everything, and I need to figure out how do I get all my items back. Let's just bring this over. Let's say you've removed your toolbar and it's just going crazy. You can go up to the top, Window, Workspace, and reset Essentials, and everything will go back to the way that the Essentials is set up for. You might be wondering, what does Essentials mean? Essentials is just one of the formats that Photoshop works in. If you click over to the side here, here's your Essentials, a 3D, if you wanted to work with 3D images, if you want to work with graphics and web, motion graphics, painting, and photography. So these are just presets that Photoshop thinks would be really useful and helpful for certain types of editors. And then I just want to go back and I can do Reset Essentials. So again, you can do it over here, or you can go up to the window feature and reset it that way. Another thing let's talk about is zooming in. There's many different ways to zoom into this image. You have your zoom tool over on the side here, which up at the top, it gives you the plus zoom or the minus. So you can click on the item here. I'm clicking on the dog. I want to zoom into him. And I could have done it that way. Also at the bottom, you'll notice that it's changing the zoom size. I can click 100% if I want to see it at 100%. I can minimize, I can zoom out by clicking on the zoom out. Or I could go down here to, let's say, 16%. And now I have almost the whole image. But I'm a really big quick key person, so I prefer just to hit Control plus and Control minus. Control plus is the quick key for zooming in, and Control minus is for zooming out. And if you're on a Mac, that's just Command plus and Command minus. How to move around the canvas. You have over on the sidebar here your hand. So if I hold this down, it's not the rotate view tool, it's the hand tool, which is just H, or you can hold spacebar down and you can move around. Let's say that you're working on making a path and you have the pen tool and you want to kind of go around the object. This is a great feature to use. Over on the sidebar here, you have your layers. Many times students will lose their layers. Somehow they will close their layers and they'll say, Miss, I don't know what to do. I don't have my layers. It's easy enough. If you go up to Window, you have all the different options on the side here to bring up your side panel properties. Just hit Layers and your layers will come back. Now let's say that you're done your project and it's time to save. Ideally, in most instances, you'll always upload a PSD, which is a Photoshop document, to the classroom, and a JPEG, which is a compressed document. You'll go up to File, Save As, and over here in your drop-down menu, the first document is the Photoshop document. This one will maintain all of your layers and it will not compress the file. So this is the main file that I need for marking your work. So you'll save that. Then you will go back and you'll do the same thing, and you will have this one as a JPEG. You will receive a pop-up that comes up, and it's going to ask you what size compression you want for your JPEG. I don't need a maximum compression because this is just a file that is a preview file. So you're fine to have anywhere from 6 to 8. So I'll just say 8, which is still high. It's keeping the quality, but it's not a high compressed file. And then hit OK. So there you will upload the PSD and the JPEG to the classroom for your projects. And I think that's it and the basics of the Photoshop interface.